Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining with us today. We have a wonderful celebration. It's a special time of year. We have learned that this is quite a rare occurrence of what we have going on in the next couple of days. So we want to prepare you all for the upcoming solstice, which we will talk a little bit more about. And we thank you for taking time to be with us today. It's always fun to get the larger family together. So we say welcome to each of you, and we welcome Dr. Suzanne Lie, who's going to guide us today in our connection. Hi, Dr. Sue.
Hello. Hello, everybody. I was just going through the list and checking out all the names and seeing who's here. So I see some familiar names that I know and some people I haven't met. So congratulations for joining us and happy summer solstice to everyone, but also to those of you that I haven't seen on any of my spots before. So I'm glad you're able to pop in and share this great day with us. So, Shauna, you were just telling me that cool story about strawberry something or other. So, to the group, well, maybe
Right.
a few more people might come on, so you can, why don't you start by that, telling it.
Sure, sure. If any of you have been doing a little bit of research, you've noticed that this is a pretty rare occasion because we're having this solstice, and again, it's officially on the 20th, so this is kind of a preparatory gathering where we can align in energies and get prepared and optimized for, the upcoming energies of the solstice. But it's not only a solstice, it's also a full moon. So you've got this convergence of these very significant events. So it's quite spectacular in, energy, connection, potential, creativity. And what's really neat is that, for those of you who've kind of looked up the significance of this event, they're actually calling it Strawberry Moon, which is interesting because they don't normally assign it to, produce or different things that happen throughout the year, but they're pulling back into our awareness some of these Native American traditions. How they kept track of the calendar was more of a natural way. And so it's officially strawberry season, isn't it, Sue?
Yes, it is. From being in California, Oxnard, which is pretty close to us, is strawberry land. So when we go through Oxnard, we get one of those big things of strawberries that they just picked that day, and oh, yum, yum.
Oh, wow. And it's really neat. Yeah, so they're pulling back into our awareness the alignment with the seasons and how, each month of the year when we have the full moon and just kind of bring us back to that natural connection. So it's really neat to see, if you look on some of the highlights of the solstice, you'll see they're calling it the strawberry full moon. So pretty special occurrence, and I think it's kind of they're calling it a once in a lifetime occurrence to have the solstice and full moon at the same time.
Ah,
So it's quite unique. I think I think it matches with the uniqueness of our goodness, our human evolution at this time too, right?
we're becoming strawberries? No.
Just that we have so many just unique things happening with ourselves and
Yeah,
our environment
yeah,
and right with the culture, with our, even just human evolution alone with our DNA activations and, peeking
yeah.
into the fifth dimension, as you say.
Yes, speaking into the fifth dimension. And I can see from this picture why they call it strawberry moon because it's exactly the color of a strawberry. If it really is that color, I can't wait to go out there and see it.
I
I
know.
mean,
I mean, wouldn't that be
I,
neat? Yeah, yeah. And they might have added a touch of color to it, but
I,
I guess we'll just have to go out and see, won't we?
I will have to go out and see, absolutely.
And
Yeah.
I think it's officially full on the 20th, so we're a little bit ahead of schedule, which is good. So that means we'll all be in alignment with the highest potential energy and just, get in that creative and responsible space as we, ride this wave of potential.
Yes, and the moon. Okay, let's just take a moment and just think about the moon energy. Because the sun has been metaphorically presented as the masculine energy, and the moon is represented as the feminine energy, and women have their moon cycles. Um, and so feel how you feel about the moon. Now let's all just take a moment. Then I'll have a story. I have my story I'll say about the moon. Okay, so just feel that, how you feel about the moon. Okay, I'll give an example. Um, when it's a full moon, we'd love to go out in our backyard. There's something about our backyard that when a full moon hits it, it's very bright and it's a completely different energy field. How about you, Shauna? Do you guys ever go out when it's a full moon and just kind of go out and sit under, have a moon bath? We'll go out there and pull up a chair and have a little moon bath. Have you ever done that?
Oh, I think that's beautiful. I have to say that even last night, it was about pretty much the middle of the night, it felt like, and out here in the wilderness, we have packs of coyotes that come around. So they were outside singing last night, and I look up and I'm thinking, is it already the full moon? So I sense that, you look outside and you feel, it's that time. I mean, it brings everything to life at night. So it's like daytime at night, and let's have some fun.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's very, and then symbolically, the moon is in charge of cycles, uh, and women know that we have our cycles, and it's more about our inner life, our inner self, our emotions, and who we are inside of ourself. And so now we would take a moment, tune into your own inner moon. When you feel your own inner moon, that is that feminine quality within you. And it is that part of you that always is orbiting around you, that moves the waters, moves your emotion. And feel how your emotions assist you and have a lot to do with how one perceives reality. So if one is having a fear-based emotion, then it's a very bad day and everything's wrong and nothing will work. But if one is having a love-based emotion, then it's a good day and things are flowing and it feels kind of nice and cozy and comfortable. And let's all move into that state of cozy and comfortable, because there's a lot of things going on with the planet now. And all these different things that are going on, there are many, many people that fear change, any change. So it doesn't matter if it's a change for the better or change for the worse, they just fear change. So now let's all be the antidote for that. Let us all be the antidote for welcoming change. And look at this strawberry moon is bringing in a sweet new reality. But there's always some seeds, of course. There's always a few seeds in reality. That's just life on 3D. But the sweetness is there if we remember to look for it. And the reality that we think about is the reality that we bring about. So let's all bring about a loving statement, such as, let me see, thank you for this beautiful day today. It's a beautiful day where I'm at. What is your loving statement, Sean.
Mhm. Well, I try to make it a practice to welcome every single new day. It's a privilege to be alive, and thank you for this gift.
Yes. Yes, that's a, what is it? I heard it a long time ago. I might have even heard it in church someplace where some pastor said, okay, when some people wake up and say, good morning, God, but some people wake up and say, good God, it's morning. So it's about how do we choose to start our new day. And I think that it's really important that we start our new day with aligning inside of ourselves with our planet, grounding ourselves deep in our planet, and connecting ourselves with our higher dimensional self. So let's all do that right now. Let's all take a long, slow, deep breath. And we see the beautiful moon, and from our attention on the moon, now let's pull our attention down onto dear Mother Gaia, planet Earth. And feel the love that we have for our dear planet. It is a most beautiful planet. The Arcturians have said many times, there are very few planets that are as diverse and as beautiful as Earth. Earth is so diverse with so many different types of reality, culture, nature, weather, oceans, waterways, animal life. So feel that diversity of Gaia and feel how that allows you to have a great deal of diversity in your life, that you can have many different experiences all within the very same lifetime. Now breathing that diversity and that light of the moon to your body, grounding that energy onto Earth, pulling that energy all the way down to the core of the Earth. Now let's all meet at the core of the Earth, and we're going to gather around the core crystal. And we see the 4 cornerstone crystals as well. So gather around in the core of Gaia, and let's all offer ourselves up. Dear Gaia, we so love you, dear planet. We volunteer to assist you within your planetary ascension. We volunteer to assist you with your planetary cleanup. And we volunteer to assist you with your planetary transmutation into higher and higher frequencies of reality. And as all of us connect with the Earth Mother, one of the things that happens is that we become deeply grounded. Now the other thing that happens as we connect with the Earth Mother is that we are also very protected. We are no longer just one little human. We are a planetary human. We are person and planet together within the oneness of one. And as the shifts of energy are coming to Earth quicker and quicker and stronger, we are feeling those shifts inside of ourselves. And just as Gaia is having some symptoms of transmutation, so are we. So many of us are having different feelings. Sometimes we're dizzy, sometimes we're extremely tired, sometimes we're so wide awake we can hardly sleep. Sometimes we feel the kundalini going up and down our spine. Sometimes we feel very hungry and just would want to eat everything. And sometimes it's hard to eat and we could just only eat a few things. And the important thing is that we stay attuned to our body, because our physical body is our planetary being. Our emotional body is our lunar being, and our mental body is our solar being. So tune into your physical body right now in this moment. And what does your physical body have to say to you? And if any of you would like to write any comments, you can write them down. Is it in the chat area, right, Shauna? You want to explain again?
Sure. At the bottom right corner of your panel, there's a space where you can enter some details and click send message, send question, I think it's something like that, and we'll read that for you.
Great. And in the meantime, I'm going to ask a couple of people here that I've known for a while now. I know they'll feel okay. Okay, now let me see. Janice, I'm going to unmute. Is it all right if I unmute you? Like I said, yeah, okay, I'm just unmuting you, Janice. And if it's not all right, if you're busy, then I won't hear from you. Janice, are you there? Can you speak with us?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you great.
Yes, I'm here.
Would you like to address a few of the things that we've been talking about the full moon and the shifts and the strawberry moon, of course, can't skip that.
Strawberry festival this weekend in my community.
Oh.
So, and I've watched the full moon. I've been coming home from drumming, of course, and just loved the full moon the last 2 nights, not knowing that it was actually on the solstice.
Yes.
And as for the physical body, it's going through a lot. It's telling me, you know, we're still trying to distinguish if those are ascension systems or do we need to actually do something about them. But I think the body is, I think these changes are pretty hard on it. But we're doing good. We're happy and we feel strong and we're happy to be alive.
Yes.
So,
and, you know, that it depends what model. I have an older model body.
Yes, I understand that. Totally.
So, you know, the adaptations aren't quite as easy as the younger model body.
Yes. I already had the Disneys. I had a whole month of that before, so your turn.
So, speaking, Jen. Okay. So, now, if any of you would like to say anything, because we always love to hear from everybody, right, Shauna? We want to have it be a conversation. I'm not
Unity consciousness.
you know, I'm hey, let's have a great conversation here. So.
Yeah. Well, Luke has something to share if you want to unmute Luke.
All right. I would love to do that. Okay, let me find him. Okay. Luckily, you're alphabetical. There you go, Luke. Hi, Luke. What would you like to say today?
Hi. Well, last night I was out walking around a lake by my house and I noticed how full or almost full the moon is. And the feeling that came over me is just one of awe and respect. And I just kind of stood there staring at it for a few minutes in awe of the beauty of it. And then just a few moments ago when I tuned into my body was saying take it easy and relax and go slow.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I think our bodies are all telling us that. And you have a lake by your house? Hallelujah, how wonderful.
Oh, yeah. It's beautiful. It's just at the end of the block of my house. It's
Oh, glory be.
Hmm.
That's beautiful. I have an ocean by my house, so that's good too. But I like inland a little better than oceans. Oceans have waves and
yeah.
yes. Okay, thanks for sharing, Luke. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Okay. And so the little question mark means they want to say something, right?
Some people have put some comments in.
Oh, okay.
We have.
You uh, why don't you read a couple of them?
Okay.
I'm on Pamela here, and
Yes.
I don't know. I don't like to embarrass people if they're not used to talking. So if you make a comment and you'd like to talk, just say I'd like to talk. Then we'd love to hear your voices. And it's also it's really important now that we learn the power of our voice. Our voice has great power. Look at all the things that we do with our voice. And our voice says, our voice can say, hi, how are you? Our voice can say, hi, how are you? So just our voice just plays our whole self. And it's a sharing of our essence. When we share our voice, we share our essence. And when we share our voice, we share our power too. So that's great. Okay, so you were reading Pamela, right?
Yes. Oh, okay, I was going to see if she wanted to speak. She says she does not have a mic hookup on the computer, so she'll read the comment out loud when she types it. I love it. Do you want to read it? Can you see it,
No,
Pamela?
I'll let you read it.
Okay, great.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so
Oh,
she...
Sorry, go ahead.
No problem. Okay, Pamela, you're on. Let's see. Despite being able to center easily and anchoring multiple times a day to Gaia's core, yesterday's emotions put her into a manic kind of state. Crazy, yes, dizzy.
Well, thank you, Pamela. I have been so dizzy lately.
Yes.
I think, here's the thing. Now, if we're dizzy and we're sick, it affects our stomach. Our dizziness and our stomach, they go together. So if we're dizzy and we're sick, we usually get, nauseated. I haven't had any nausea at all. I've been dizzy this whole week. And it's a little better, or I don't know. But it's like proprioception. I remember when we were little kids, we used to practice going around and around to make ourselves dizzy, and then you couldn't see where you were. But this dizziness is that I think that there's things that are shifting, and there's things that we aren't able to consciously register within this shift, but unconsciously we're registering them very loudly. And I think that be part of the dizziness. So Pamela, if you want to write another something onto that, we'll get back to you in a second. Okay. Shauna, do you want to read if there's somebody else has something they want to say?
Yeah, sure. We have a couple more comments. Gabriella shares, thank you for organizing the webinar. Happy to be with you. We're happy to have you with us, Gabriella.
Yes.
And Jeanette, she says, I live in the desert and the moonlight has been amazing along with the blinking stars. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And if any of those stars move around in a weird way that stars don't move around, then it's not a star.
They told us they're going to be showing themselves more, so get ready.
Yeah.
They're saying hello.
Yeah, and the desert, what a good place for a sighting. You can really have a sighting in the desert. In fact, that's where a lot of the groups that get together, they go to the desert for the sightings because the atmosphere is clearing and you can see the whole thing in the desert because you don't have the tall trees or well, unless you're in the desert where there's mountains. Okay.
Okay,
Great.
so Jeanette says, Jeanette says, so far it shows colors but not movement, so hoping to see it soon.
Oh.
There you go.
Great, thank you.
Go.
Let us know when one of those stars takes off.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. She says, will do. Oh, Pamela says she associates this type of dizziness with the frequency shift for sure. No stomach issues or nausea. So I think there's a lot of that
Yeah.
people are experiencing. The dizziness seems quite common right now.
Yes, definitely. And Inna has her hand up, so did she just write something?
I think it's, to go back down, we've got some more comments coming in.
Oh, okay, good. All right, so I'll talk a little bit. I'll see what the Arcturians have to say here, and then we'll get onto those comments. And thank you so much for your comments. I so appreciate it. I feel like it's a wonderful live discussion, and you know, okay, I'm glad the Arcturians, they came in with the first sentence, so I'm going to tell you what they say. Okay. Blessings to all of you. We are the Arcturians, and we were just saying to Suzanne, we were explaining to her that part of the reason why she likes to hear the comments so much is because that's part of making ascension real. When there is a group of people that you can sit down and you can talk about, wow, you know, I'm having this ascension symptom right now. I had this amazing meditation the other day. Oh, let me show you what my channel was that I just had on Tuesday. What a wonderful world that will be. And that's the type of world that Suzanne was looking forward to. And we know that all of you here are looking forward to that type of a world as well. And as you look forward to it, and if you put your energy into looking forward to, then it is not just a daydream. Then it is a plan. So the difference between a daydream and a plan is a daydream is you sit back and say, oh, I wish that it was different on this planet. And I really would love it if we could just see the galactics landing and everybody loved each other and the wars were all over and we didn't have to mess with paying a lot of bills or, you know, I feel that. I feel that earth inside of me, and I want that to manifest. And yes, you are feeling that world inside of you because that is fifth-dimensional earth. And you are feeling that frequency of reality within you. And whenever you write about what you feel inside, you talk about what you feel inside, you share with others what you feel inside, you help ground that reality. You help make that reality more real. And the reality you believe is the reality you perceive. And the reality you perceive is the reality that you live. Now, I know back when I was a psychotherapist, I would have beginner clients. These are usually people that had very difficult childhoods. And one bad thing after another, the good, sweet, kind people, bad thing, bad thing, bad thing, just in a row. But then as they went through the process and they healed themselves and began to love themselves and began to feel good about themselves, those bad things didn't happen. They just didn't happen anymore. And see, our energy field creates our reality. So if we are having a bad day, oh, I'm having a bad day, I feel grouchy today, you're going to go outside and you're going to get in the wrong lane at the grocery store. It's going to take twice as long. You're going to have a traffic problem and you're going to run out of gas almost and have to find the gas station. You're going to have all these problems because you're having a bad day. But if you have a good day, then you just take and get in your car and say, okay, I'm going to do some errands. And then your higher self says, oh, better stop off at the gas station first. And then you're starting to drive. You know what? I think I'm going to take this route than that road. I have a feeling that that route's going to have a lot of traffic. We are at one This is when you become within the oneness. And so you are constantly interacting with Gaia. Gaia is constantly interacting with you. And you can read the signs. You can read people's auras of like, okay, I think I'll just go right past that person. Or maybe I'll smile and say hello to that person. Look at that beautiful open aura. You will know. You will go outside and say, feels like rain. Better get a jacket. Or you'll go out and say, oh boy, I'm dressed too warm. I'm going to roast. I got to put on, a lighter shirt. You're just attending to, in connection with, sharing your reality, interacting with the planet at all times. And when you interact with the planet, then you interact with every person, place, animal, creature, situation, atmosphere of the planet. Okay, so I'm sure we have some great, wonderful things for our people. You want to read them, and if they want to talk, they can say so.
Sure.
There's a lot of little hands up, so great. Let's see what's going on there.
Okay, so we say hello to Evelyn. She says, thank you for sharing. She's in Mexico, and she admires your work.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Evelyn. And how's Mexico?
Mm-hmm.
Probably beautiful right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's getting that warm time of year, but always beautiful.
Yeah.
So Diana says that every morning she's had the dancing star, and she sees the aura, and she feels the love.
Oh, wonderful.
Mm.
The dancing star. That sounds like it could be a starship. So.
That's, yeah. Keep an eye on that one.
Keep an eye on that one.
So Kim shares that the magnetics of Earth are jumbled right now, so thus more dizziness, and the solar energies are more intense. Mm-hmm.
Very, very good point. You're absolutely correct. Thank you for that reminder. If you want to write any more about that, please go ahead, because I'm sure everyone would like to hear about that. Okay? Do you want to read something?
Okay. Sure. And we have, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, Gonka says, I'm joining an online meditation for the first time in my life with the help of their friend Zainab. They're really excited listening to you and watching the moon from the room on top of the forest. How beautiful is that?
The moon of the forest. Wow.
Wow.
Where is this person if it's nighttime now? How cool.
I know, I'm curious where they're located.
It's like 12 o'clock. It's high noon here almost. So, it's so great to be able to communicate with people all around the planet.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, Bob says that he's had the dizzies and tummy problems yesterday, but no nausea. He had to nap. He had to take a nap last night, and all was okay. Also, lots of etheric body buzzing, which is quite pleasant.
Yes. Yeah, a lot of changes going on with bodies now. A lot of changes. Yeah. And our eating. Has your eating been kind of different? And
you know, it's interesting. Yeah, it fluctuates, like you were mentioning. Some days I can't get enough. Some days there's really not much of an appetite, and I don't even think about eating.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. And some days I'm really craving this or that, and the other days it's like, oh, I don't want that. So, yeah, we're in transition, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Monica says that she loves the full moons. She spent most of the last year with full moons in nature in Greece and Egypt, and she's having tasted the power of this potent moon time. She's becoming more aware of the forces of nature and their influence on human consciousness. Isn't that the truth?
Absolutely. Back in the old days when consciousness was pretty low, the dark ages, when the moon came out, very often people would go a little crazy. They would call it St. Vitus Day dance, and people would be overstimulated by the full moon, and they would sometimes scream and get in fights and get all upset because they couldn't handle the energy field.
Wow.
And
Wow.
so now the same thing is happening, only we're not talking about the energy of the field of the moon. We're talking about this influx of interdimensional streams of energy field that are coming from very high frequencies that are just, gradually feeding Earth. It's almost like if you had a planet that was kind of sick, because poor Gaia, boy, humanity made her kind of sick, to say the least. You have a plant that's kind of sick, you have to carefully water it, make sure not too much water, but enough water, and not too much sun, but enough sun, and you just kind of baby it back to health. And that's what all of the beings on Earth and around Earth and far beyond Earth are doing with Gaia. They're all sending her love and light and energy streams of higher frequency energy streams. And we as humans, supposedly the most evolved of the beings on Earth, are the ones who are supposed to be grounding that energy field. So we'll got to ask a question. We'll go through this list first, but then I'm asking you all a question that you can contribute, which is great, about ways that you find to ground the higher light. So if anyone wants to start writing those, that would be great. Okay, Shauna, is there other messages?
Yes.
I'm not sure where to look, so I'm just letting you go.
Oh, yeah. People are really excited to share today, so it's wonderful having all these first-timers, too. We have some great new family members here, but back to Gonka and Zainab. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, but they are in Turkey, in Istanbul, and the moon is up and gorgeous.
Oh, wonderful. Great. Welcome from Turkey.
Yes. And Jeanette, yeah. So Jeanette has come up with a nice phrase for what we're calling about our appetite fluctuation. Yeah. She's calling them food swings. I love it. Very accurate, Jeanette.
That's good. That's our mood swings. I used to be a foodaholic, so that was totally how I lived, but I'm not a foodaholic anymore, but I was. So as soon as I was in a bad mood, right for the refrigerator.
Mm-hmm.
Got over that one, thank heavens. That was pretty fattening.
One of those learning phases.
Yes.
So yeah, lots of good comments. AJ says, I can certainly feel the energetic upswing of this phase. I've been feeling it more and more throughout the process, but lately it's been plugged in, like surging, feeling that expands more and more, and the dizziness when standing up. But one cool thing is that they tend to see the pulsing color or energies that make up the air more so.
Oh, wow. See, they're plugging in. We are plugging in. I love that. And that really extends our perceptions.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So we're not just on battery anymore. We're actually plugged in.
And thus making it more important for that grounding.
Yeah.
Right? Such power. Mm-hmm. And Marie says that the German moon is covered under thunderstorms for days, but something great is happening. Today she ate lots of food, slept for hours, and she's so happy this gathering is happening around the world.
Ah, wonderful. That's great. So Gaia's getting a long, big drink in the springtime, too. It's going to be beautiful, I'm sure. And this is the Marie in Germany, I think, so she lives by the woods, so what a glorious thing that'll be. Okay, go on.
Okay, so Celiante, maybe, I'm doing my best to pronounce, but she says, Dearest Sue and everyone, very happy to listen to your wise words. they've been nauseous and tired all week and didn't understand why. Took some time off of work just to rest and sleep and lay under a tree. And warm wishes from Berlin, so another Germany location there. P.S. Also the first online meditation for me ever. Great experience, and you all feel like you're just next door. Yay, Internet!
Yay, Internet. Yeah.
What a blessing.
Great.
And shall I keep going?
Yeah, keep
There's a
going.
few.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so Rita says, all righty, you got it. So Rita says, my head has felt like it's been in a vice grip for the last 2 days. I asked if the energy could come in a little slower and smoother, and there was an instant easing of the pressure. So there you go.
That is a wonderful point that you just brought up, because I remember I discovered this quite a while ago when I first started having these symptoms, that you can say, okay, wait, I need to slow down a little bit. This is a bit too intense. I still have to do life. And we can do that. There is a little modulation button somewhere in our consciousness, I'm not sure where we can like turn down the volume a little bit, you know, and it'll probably last longer, but it'll be easier to move through. And then sometimes if you just have to do something that you have to do, then you can just say, hey, I have to stop this for a moment. I have to drive on the freeway. I have to do a presentation. You have to say, okay, I'll pick it up when I'm done. Thank you. I appreciate the download, but I have to do Earth right now. So just can you put it on pause for me? And I found that works. I mean, I've kind of been off this week, and so I just been laying around and giving it an excuse to be lazy. So.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a valid point that Rita's making, because I think some of these symptoms are, you know, they're definitely being amplified, and I can definitely relate to that headache and that pressure, and it feels like, I mean, I'm thinking, whoa, I now have sympathy for those who said they've had migraines before, because I'm guessing this is what it's like.
Yeah, no.
You know?
Really intense.
Wow. Okay, so Joel says, we ground by sitting in nature by a river every morning, and they do this in Utah.
Oh, wonderful.
And they
yeah, there's some really beautiful places in Utah. I've been there. Beautiful.
Definitely, and feels like they have to eat sometimes to ground. Heavy foods help them feel not so uncomfortable. I'm guessing I shouldn't do this.
I think if it makes you feel more comfortable, you should absolutely do it. You know, our body actually really tells us. The Arcturians, I guess it was a couple of days ago, there was on the blog about how what we need to do now is really listen to our bodies, because our bodies are the ones that are incorporating this higher frequency of light. And so this is a process that we want. We've been saying, I want light body, I want light body, I want to ascend, I want to ascend. So, okay, here you go. It's like, be careful what you ask for, you just might get it. So.
That's right. What was that? Just say yes, we were just talking about the other day?
Yeah.
You said yes. Here you go.
Yeah, you said yes. You didn't read the fine print.
I know, right? Hindsight.
Yeah, great. Okay.
Oh, goodness. So let's see. Oh, Diana notices that when she walks outside, the squirrels don't run away and the birds are flying around more.
That's wonderful. That's very sweet. I have a very sweet yard. And hummingbirds are the most wonderful little creatures. They'll come up to like a foot of you and just zzz right in front of you and then buzz off. It's like, oh, thank you. You know, the Native Americans, whenever that would happen, whenever they'd get a message from an animal, they would take it, that they just got a message. And they would go into a sweat, or usually they would go into a sweat to incorporate things into their reality. And they would go into the sweat lodge and translate that message that they got.
Oh, wow. I've had lots of dragonfly
Ah,
participation lately outside.
well,
That's been,
dragonflies they go through 3 transmutations. So
mm,
they're representative of an advanced transmutational ability. There's not many animals that go through three stages. Lots go through 2, but
oh,
dragonflies
right.
have 3. Yeah.
Wow, cool. Well, Evelyn has a good question. I don't know what you want to do next, but she's curious how the strawberry moon energy will affect our emotions as well as humanity in the days, I guess during the days of the full moon, and how can we focus this energy to help Gaia?
Oh, okay. Well, to the first part, that's really up to every single solitary person. Every person has a moment of choice. It's like an opportunity. And it's not that different than any other opportunity, whether it's they have an opportunity to change lanes on the road or an opportunity to take that advanced position in your job or an opportunity to move into a nicer house. It's an opportunity. And then each person has their process that they move through about whether or not they choose that opportunity. And that doesn't mean that that's bad that they don't, because there's not just, okay, that's it. You got one opportunity and forget it. You're done. No, opportunities are there all the time. And sometimes people are looking for a specific opportunity that they have received within their heart and soul, that this is what they're called upon. And so they might say no to this opportunity, to that opportunity, even to that opportunity, to another opportunity, because they want to hold out for this one particular opportunity. And then eventually jump right in. So with all of this, it's all an opportunity. And each of us have our own inner guidance and our own inner game plan. We all wrote our mission, our birth mission, before we came to Earth, and we're starting to remember. In fact, let's take a moment, and this is something I like to do with groups a lot because I think it's a really important thing for all of us. So now take a long, slow, deep breath, and imagine yourself getting ready to write your own birth plan for this incarnation. Now, as an example, I'll give how I perceive it, just to say, let you know that there's no right. Mine's kind of a silly way. I'm actually sitting at a desk with a paper and a pencil, leaning over, writing it down. How about you, Shauna? Do you have any picture that comes up when you're thinking of your writing your birth plan before you came in?
Mine feels like I'm just tuning into, my soul purpose that continues to arise, lifetime after lifetime. It's that, soul frequency, that signature, that uniqueness, and it's just, finding that creative way to bring it forward in this lifetime.
So if anybody else wants to share how they perceive themselves. Now, of course, I would perceive myself actually writing pen and pencil my birth plan because I'm a writer. So there's part of it right there. So know that when that picture, because this is like a form of light language. When we go inside and we just, oh, I'm just going to use my imagination to see if I can get an image of this. That's light language. That's what light language is that we are allowing the light that is coming into us, and now we're getting this higher dimensional light. And as we allow it to come into us, we each have our own way to interpret it. And that will be in accordance with what we love to do, what we said we would do, what it's our mission to do. Sometimes it's what we have time to do. And it's always what we want to do. Because if we don't want to do it, then we won't have our heart and soul. And if you don't want to do it, you need to respect that, because maybe that's not yours to do. So we want to jump on ourselves and say, oh, you should want to do that. But no, wait a second. Listen to your body. If you're good to do it and your body says, I don't want to, then say, okay, body, I respect you. Sometimes you know more things than I do. And if you don't want to do this, I'm not going to do it. Because if I'm supposed to do it, it will come back. But maybe there's something that is more in alignment with who I am. And if I just wait a little bit, then I will feel that thing and I'll go, oh, yes, this is what I want to do. So hold out for the, oh, yes. What do you think about that, John?
I think that sounds like a wonderful plan.
Yeah, then we don't get stuck in, oh, I have to this and I have to that, and oh, I didn't this and I should, and oh, that's just so third-dimensional, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we're releasing all those third-dimensional things now. Okay, let's check in on our friends again and see what else they have to say.
All right. Well, we have, let's see, so Luke did say that, let me go back up here. Got quite a list growing. Writing his mission statement, and as we know, he has his Saturnian.
Yeah,
Remember that? So he's,
yeah.
yeah, so Luke's bringing some influence from Saturn, and so he's his Saturnian self in a room on the ship, writing in golden light and some sort of rune-looking symbols.
Ah,
Interesting.
yes, it would be a runish looking, or cuneiform, or one of those where instead of writing out, it's kind of primitive to have well, not primitive, it's third dimensional. It's third dimensional that a word has different symbols that come together to create the word, and the words have to come together to create the sentence. The sentence have to come together to create etc., because it's the world of separation. But as we move into our higher mind, we aren't living in separation. And so we get these feelings, or we have a light, or we have like a whole concept opens up in our mind. And then if you happen to be a writer or an artist or a musician or whatever type of creative person that you might be, you're going to want to express that. And then you can express it as the whole thing, or you can take the components of it so that you can more easily explain it to others, or make a play out of it, or a song out of it. Or so many wonderful creative ways to translate the light language that we're getting all the time. Okay.
And so Luke also says, he says, thank you. He is holding out for the yes. Every part of him resonated with that so strongly. And thank you, thank you.
Good. Holding out for the yes. That's got to be a theme, right? Holding yes.
There you go. Absolutely.
There'll be another one about holding out for the yes.
That's great. Well, we have, quite a few comments just on various topics, so not so much on the mission statement, but would you like to, let's see, go back to the, okay.
This is a group for all of you. This is not a group where I get a chance to talk. I talk and I write and talk and I write, and you can see that all the time. When we give these groups, we want you to have a chance to share yourself. And when I get a group like this that is so happy to join in, I am, yes, okay. So just read on.
Okay. So Sophie shares that she was told by her higher selves that her junk DNA was being reactivated, and just be patient because there's more memories coming up. And she thinks they just called it DNA, but she interpreted it as junk DNA.
Well, I don't know if you read that articles and books and blah, blah, blah. I talked a lot about junk DNA. And junk DNA, also wise scientists have decided that 3% of our DNA is what creates our human self. And the 97% of DNA that's left over is just junk. Okay, so the 3% of the DNA is our third dimensional body. The junk DNA is all the rest of us. So there's tons of research on that. It was done in the 80s, and a lot of things have been buried because, you know, the powers that are don't always want the people to be as informed as we need to be. So we have to, you could look it up, junk DNA. You could look it on my website, multidimensions.com. Once you go into where you're actually, where the writing is, it's got a little place where you can type stuff in, whatever topic, and just type in junk DNA. And there's like 2 places where it's like big pages about it, so you can find it there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So back to the question of grounding, Gonka shares that I ground with my 7.5-year-old daughter hugging the trees, and she does it whenever she feels like, when she feels like it, on the street and in the garden of her school too.
That is such a sweet story. I'm a tree hugger. I've been accused of being a tree hugger my whole life, and I say thank you.
I'm with you. I'm with you. That's where we hold our 4 for Gaia meetings. My friend Gwen is on here with us, and we have fun hanging out by a beautiful oak tree. That's our friend.
Oak trees, and oak trees are wonderful. They're, you know, the oak trees were the churches of the early civilizations in England, and wasn't England then, in Northern Europe. Those oak groves are always very sacred. And of course, you know, the Illuminati wanted to shut them all down and burn them up and stuff, but the oak trees are. I had one house that had a huge oak tree, and that's where I'd always meditate under the oak tree.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
All right. So Malin shares, greetings from Sweden. The latest few days I've had their Arcturians contacting me, so I wanted to connect with other contactees, and they also helped to prepare for this webinar. Lots of funny things going on. Birds and dragonflies, like you said. Thank you all. With love.
Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, great. AJ
They've
said,
been doing a lot. Get ready, folks. Get ready. So, woohoo.
That's right. AJ says that I noticed for the past while that when I pose questions to myself, the sun shines through the window, more so in affirmation or less so at the moment of inquiry.
Oh. Boy, this guy's got some big connections. He's got the sun talking directly to him. That's great. No, that's amazing. Maybe you're from the sun. I mean, I'm not joking. Maybe you actually are from the sun. There are beings that are from the sun. And a lot of, you know, very high beings took body during this time. So, yeah.
Great. That's amazing. Angela says, I feel like a crystal sometimes. The more I can clear, the more clear the light coming through. And my blueprint shifts as the new light hits it. More comes into view. Clarity changes it all. Constant change and open-ended.
Very wise. Very great. That's the beginning of like a story or a book or something. So we should keep going with that. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. And so Donna shares quite a bit here. We might even have to bring her on. So it's about a long paragraph, but she's so happy to hear that so many others are experiencing that wooziness and on and off, the headaches, like the pineal opening.
Yes.
So she just feels out of sync sometimes and a bit unbalanced. And part of her waking each morning, she's been doing that wonderful, the unconditional love, the 777 work, where we did, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Particularly focusing on her throat chakra opening as the portal through her higher frequency. Just say, okay, dancing star, okay.
You know, it's really interesting because you finished that reading?
Yeah, go ahead. I think that's the essence of it.
I did a light body webinar with Lorraine, and after that that light body then it left, I finished it, after I quote taught it, I was so hot inside. I had this heat, you know, the inner side heat, and then the dizziness started. So yeah, we can really put ourselves in there. We're saying I'm ready. I've said I'm ready. So yay!
That's what you get.
Gotchas, folks.
You got, and we're writing the manual, remember. You know, we are the wayshores, like you call us the pioneers.
Yeah.
So thank you for being on this journey with us.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Definitely.
Let's see. Diana says, I always see myself traveling, seeing different places on Earth and in the universe and spreading light, love, and joy.
Oh, wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. And we are all doing that in our own ways, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's like a real dedication where it's not a choice. We have to do it. It's like the reason why we're here. And that's because we're moving into our fifth-dimensional consciousness now. And the third-dimensional survival tasks aren't as important as it used to be, and the fourth-dimensional dreams and aspirations of what's going to happen when we do this is going away. And we're just in here we're just in service. We're in living service. And our group is very much living service. Okay.
Yeah. Shall we keep going?
Yeah.
There's a lot of great stuff here. Good.
Well, I don't want to throw any of that great stuff away.
I agree. I agree.
You know, is there a way that we can, I'm just taking this down so I don't forget it later. I don't know about any of you. If I don't write down or say what's in my head, it's replaced by 50 things a second later. Oops, I almost lost it. Okay. Is there a way that you can collect all of these comments? These are so amazing. And then I can just do the initial instead of their name and put it on the blog. I'd like to share this.
Well, I have a suggestion.
Yes.
Put the blog up and have people put them in there as well.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, we can, I mean, that's, we all welcome it.
They can't put the blog in. That could be in the answer thing. If you just email me, suelie@me.com, SUELIE@me.com. But people aren't going to remember. They're not going to remember what they said, though. You know that, because it's not that now. People are speaking in the now.
Yeah, I think they do have like a chat log where we might be able to dig up some of the, otherwise it's kind of a copy and paste kind of thing. So it's not really super intuitive or super simple, but, we could find a way to make it happen. And of course, you guys are always welcome to comment, as you do the blog posts, Sue, as you have the Facebook posts. So that's how we create that unity consciousness in all kinds of ways.
Yes. So if you can send your messages to me, then Shauna will put them all over the world. So, good. And you can put your name or not put your name, your choice. Okay.
Okay.
Go on.
Okay. So we have Madeline says, I often stop meditations because I can't handle the energy. I feel like I'm going to break through into something I cannot handle. I never hear or see beings, but feel them. Any suggestions on how to handle the energy?
Well, you need to have somebody that is guiding you through. So, like the Arcturians, the Arcturians and the Pleiadians are very busy right now with helping us. So, if you want to ask first, dear Pleiadians and or Arcturians, would you please assist me to remember this? Or if you have a spiritual guide that you have worked with, or a higher dimensional being, that you are worked with, Ascended Master. One of the things, if you can start off, dear Ascended Master, dear Arcturians, dear whoever you are asking guidance for, you want that protection anyhow, because you're bringing in a lot of light and your light is shining, and it's really great to have the being with you, and you will just go inside and ask. You will know. You will know the name of who that is. And so then they say it. It's channeled through you, and they say it, which is the truth. It is the truth. Your third dimensional self isn't getting this information. Your higher dimensional expression is channeling it and telling it to your third dimension so you can share it with the third dimensional world. So you keep yourself a little out of the limelight and give the credit to the one who is sending it, and then you are protected and guided, and and you get the unconditional love as the freebie. That's the payment. Ah, feels so good. Okay.
Definitely a gift.
Yeah.
So Starlight says, hi Starlight, a meditation I enjoy a lot is to see all of us playing light shows of the lights coming out of our hearts and seals, the aura, and feeling so much in love with even no one in front of her. Just a nice place to be.
Yeah, these are all precursors to our life in the fifth dimension. We're peeking into the fifth dimension. We're getting little peeks. We're at this state of expanded consciousness that it's a lot to do like if you're on a trampoline. Okay, so it takes a little momentum to get to be really high, and you have to be willing to be really low. You know, you have to go down into your dark side and clear out your dark side in order to get enough momentum to go up into these higher parts of yourself. But it seems like all of you have done pretty well at all of that, because you wouldn't be getting these kind of messages otherwise. But get your guide. Call for your guidance. Say, I want a multi-dimensional, interdimensional expression of myself that I can be in continual contact with. And it's so comforting. So, did I answer that question, or did I get off on a tangent, Shauna?
Well, regardless, I think it was a good tangent. I mean, that's helpful, yeah, for everyone. You having that constant guidance and connection is quite helpful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Beyond words.
Mm-hmm. You got it. So Marie says she grounds the light by driving her bike through the woods, and she feels the light beings there, and the trees are amazing healers.
Oh, wow. Riding your bike through the woods. How cool. I do love trees. Trees are some of my favorite people. Okay.
Yeah, you got it. Okay, so Matre says, so happy to be here. I'm feeling so much connection with the divine feminine and feel called to work with her. What are the best ways to clear throat and base chakras?
Oh, Matre, that's interesting. What are the best ways? Okay, that's a very long answer. But what was the two chakras she said?
Yeah, the throat and base.
Oh, throat
Right.
and
Yeah, the base.
chakras. Unconditional love. Go to the multidimensions.com. And how do they get directly to that easily?
Goodness, is it under events? And it's this year of unconditional love. Yeah, it's all right there.
Yeah, and then just go to the unconditional love thing. And you can also look it up in the blog, and it's cool in the blog because you get all the responses of the people. So you just email me, and I'll put it up where it starts in the blog. Where does it start in the blog, Sean? Do you know the date?
We started the year off with that event, and I think that was back in January.
January of 2015.
16, yeah, this year.
Really? Wow.
This year. I know, right? I know.
10 years ago.
Where'd the time go? What is time? Oh, wait. See, we're already
Okay.
out of time.
So go to January the 15th on the blog, and then you can follow it up, and you can see it on the blog, and you can see all the great comments that the people had. So, yeah. Right.
Good. Okay. So Ruth Ann says she's been feeling a lot of heat inside, and it's not menopause. It makes her remember the mother's increasing heat and inner pressure. She brings seltzer water, imaging in to help her cool down and release pressure.
Sounds like your kundalini is starting to raise, and you're getting ready to open up into your light body. So hold on tight. Fun adventure.
To say the least. Oh, great. So Oana says, in the last week, I have been again reactivating my Arcturian self. The first part of the year was the time when the Andromedan connection was restored. And since a week now, I've been visiting the Arcturian light ship. It's funny how different aspects of ourselves come forth to reconnect with the energies we already know. And they're headed for embodying more and more of all of himself, herself. Love, love, love from Germany.
Thank you. Yeah, Andromedans. So Andromedans are getting very busy now. They weren't as busy as the Arcturians and the Pleiadians, but they were always supporting the process. The Andromedans, the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, the Syrians, and the Andromedans have been Gaia's protector from way at the beginning of our very first civilizations. So the Andromedans are more the techno people. So as this new technology is starting to come in, the Andromedans are going to be much more active than they've been in the past, because they will be teaching us how to think in that manner. So.
We have wonderful teams assisting us, don't we?
Wonderful teams, yes.
Let's see. Sandra says, how does she know for sure who is contacting her? She has insomnia, so nothing comes in her sleep, and she's trying to understand what is needed or wanted of her.
Channeling. Write it down. Okay, now let me tell you quickly the process that will work. I started by writing down my dreams. Now, writing down your dreams is really important because you learn your own symbolic language. And when you're speaking with an interdimensional being, you're going to receive it through your symbolic language. So what you do is that in the morning when you wake up, before you open your eyes, you tell yourself the dream. That transfers the dream from your part of your brain that's going to forget it to the part of your brain that will remember it. And then have a pencil and paper close to your bed and instantly write down your dream. When you write down your dream, you say, Dear One, please help me to understand my dream. And this is how you begin your relationship with your two-way relationship. And so when you do that, you will say, you can say, well, who are you and where do you come from? And they'll say, this is who I am and this is where I come from, and why are you contacting me? What we're contacting you for. So you begin this type of a conscious interaction, but you have to write it down, or you have to document it, because the 3D brain cannot remember this information. It's too high of a frequency, it doesn't stick. So we have to document it. You can write it down, you can speak it, but once you start writing it down, then you'll be getting all the details that you want. Okay? Any more there?
No, I think that's a great explanation. Very helpful. There you go, Sandra. Let's see. So Joel says, I feel at times that I'm sprinting to transmute and heal anything energetically that no longer serves me, and then all of a sudden it all just stops. I feel like I'm in a holding pattern. Does this happen to you? And what should we be doing during these pauses?
Grounding, 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 grounding. What's happening is that we're bringing in much higher frequencies. And we just have this little 3D earth vessel. So that's why we're having all these symptoms of transmutation, because the frequency is just too high. So we have to ground and ground and ground and ground and sleep and change our eatings and lay in the woods and hug a tree and dig in the dirt and get grounded.
That sounds like fun. I'm going to go do that. I'll see y'all later.
Well, swim in the ocean, swim in your lake, whatever, all those things. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Oh, this is great. So Zainab says, I've seen in my healing practice Andromedans are awakening since the X-wave blood moon in September. My office is full of them. They're all people who experience awakening suddenly and expand with unbelievable speed.
Yes. Yeah. Andromedans just jump in the deep end and start swimming. Yeah.
That's great.
That's what they only come into the people that are really ready, because they kind of like burn people out a little bit because they think different. Andromeda is a different galaxy, so it's a different way of thinking. It's a different way of being. And so when you bring in the Andromeda energy, likely you are from Andromeda, and that's why you can bring it in. Usually the people that bring in Andromeda energy are from Andromeda. And who is that guy that writes all that wonderful stuff about Andromeda? Oh, let's see if I can remember. Do some searching. There's this one person, I have a file. You can always email me and I can get you a file. He writes everything about Andromeda. It's amazing. It's an amazing. So I always research. That's how you ground yourself. Do your research. So that's how you ground it in the earth. You bring it from your higher self, but then you research. And then it helps you to differentiate what was just coming from me, or maybe I didn't understand it, from what, all these other people had this. So it's like, okay, I guess I'm not crazy. So that's very helpful to do that. All right.
Yeah.
So we probably should start wrapping this up pretty soon, which is kind of sad, but I know people have to go about their days at some point, but everyone seems to be hanging in here, so
I know, right?
No one's leaving.
Okay, one more quick comment, just because Alex joined us late, and I just want to say, he says it's not everybody's duty, but contact with Andromedans is very important because it's intergalactic, and in some future we will merge with Andromeda in a soft, wonderful way. There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely will. Andromeda is definitely our friends. And they'll be, as all the new technology is released, which, we've had it forever, but anyhow, as it's released, and that Andromeda energy is really going to come in, because we're going to need to reboot our brains. And the Andromedans, that's part of what they do. They're very techno, my grandson's Andromedan, and he's like genius person. And it's interesting, and I know he's Andromedan because I had a dream, and in the dream I was on a starship, and this big, tall, lean, very handsome Andromedan shook my hand and said, hello, I'm from Andromeda. Clearly, that's a dream. And then it shrunk down, it was my grandson, and then it went back to the Andromedan. And so the next day I saw my grandson and I said, I had a dream, and in the dream you were an Andromeda. And he says, yeah, and ran out the room to do something else. Oh, okay.
He's not ready.
No, he knows.
That's great.
Well, he said, yeah, I know. So, okay.
That's funny. I love it. Okay. Oh, Sandra has a question. Yes, hon, we will have a link to the recording of the webinar. If you registered, it will come directly into your email, and we'll also share it on the blog and in your newsletters and stuff. It'll come out.
Yes. Yeah, this is a good one. This is really great. We really want everybody to hear all of these wonderful questions that you are asking. You are wonderful and amazing role models. And go forth and be those role models. What if 20% of the, who knows, I don't know, let's say 50%. I don't know what percentage is. If 50% of the population thought this way and asked these questions, just imagine how much our world would change.
That's right.
Imagine. And that's coming. That's coming. The higher light is coming in, and it's activating our expanded thinking. And we have what I've called our multidimensional mind. It's almost like a external hard drive that's connected to our brain that resonates to the fifth dimension. And some of you that are clairvoyant are going to be able to perceive that there's almost like this, like somebody's like wearing a hat, only there's a little space between their physical head and the physical hat where the little cord goes, to connect the hard drive to the computer. So we're expanding it. I mean, our 3D brains are like, okay, we're full. I got like 2 or 3 external hard drives. Shauna, you have external hard computers, right?
Yeah, I've run out of space on everything, and I think it's a sign.
I have to go into Mac on a regular basis and say, help me clean my computer, I'm full. So, and that's what's happening to all of us, is that, our 3D brains are like totally full,
Yes.
So,
Yes.
anyway, so, okay, is there any final things that anyone wants to say? How many questions do we have now, or comments, or?
Well, we've made it through pretty much most of them, so I think we're in good shape. We're having some gratitude, some thank yous coming in, and we say thank you right back. Thanks for connecting with us today and taking the time to be with us to, have this unity consciousness. And oh my goodness, aren't we ready for the solstice now? 2 days. We have 2 days.
Are we ready? Okay, now the Arcturians that want to come in here for a minute, they said they wanted to say something, so. Probably what I will do, because I like to do it that way, of just the Arcturians will give their message, and then we'll just end, just right there, and end on that point. And I'll sit here for a while. We'll sit here for a little bit and allow you each to just log off for a bit, so you can hold the energy a little bit, and then after a certain percentage is logged off, we'll close the webinar. So can we do it that way, Shauna?
Sounds perfect.
Yeah, okay. All right. Oh, now this is interesting. The Arcturians and the Pleiadians are both speaking in unified voice to you. Oh, and of course, and the Andromedans are there overlighting the conversation. Blessings be to all of you. We perceive each and every one of you as representatives of the new human. Now that new human has been in stages of development for several generations, but it is within this now that new human will be able to come out, so to speak, to be born, to leave the womb, to graduate from third, fourth dimensional education, to merge with your divine complements, whether one may hold an embodiment in another place, or one may hold an embodiment in the higher frequencies, but the mergings of the divine complements will become more evident because you will be moving into your fifth dimensional self. Now, this fifth dimensional self will begin with your fifth dimensional state of consciousness. And the reality that your consciousness resonates to will be the reality that you will perceive. And so as your consciousness resonates to this fifth dimensional energy field on a majority way, by that we mean that in excess of 50% of your, quote, time, unquote, you will be functioning via your fifth dimensional consciousness. Now, some of that, quote, time will be while you are asleep, because the frequency of Earth is still a bit too low for you to bilocate too much without being somewhat dangerous to your physical form. But all of you, every one of you, are visiting our ships on a regular basis, and we suggest that all of you ask, can I please remember more about visiting the ship? Just because it is so wonderful for you to remember the feeling of being home. And that is why we have given Suzanne the Palladian storyline of being on the ship, because you are ready. You are ready to live both realities at once. You are ready to live the reality of your physical life and the reality that you are living on your fifth dimensional ship and or your fifth dimensional homeworld. And so in this manner, as you live your reality of your, in the past, you would go into the core of the planet, your past, it could be the present or future for many others, but for this specific group, you are focused on your core, in the core of the planet. That would be, you would ground yourself, and then you would connect with this higher dimensions, your higher dimensional guides to connect with your higher self, and then you would have this playground in between. Your playground is somewhat shifting because you will be focusing a lot on the ships now, because you are all on our ships, and you will be in an awareness of yourself on the ships and or your homeworld and or even fifth dimensional Earth. So you will be experiencing your fifth dimensional experience of self. Just as at first you, oh, I have a fourth dimensional body, I can remember my dreams, I can channel. Now you will not be channeling these experiences. You will be experiencing these experiences. Some of you will choose to channel them, and some of you will choose not to channel them. But you will be experiencing that you are living in more than one world within the nowness of the one. This is multidimensional consciousness. We welcome you. Blessings to you all. Thank you so much.